All right, welcome. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a piece of tech that is, no joke, running your life, but you probably never even think about it. We're talking about the Database Management System, or DBMS. Let's get into it. Seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. How does your banking app instantly know your balance? How does your favorite streaming service know exactly where you left off on that show last night? It all just happens. How does it work? Well, the magic behind all of that, the thing that makes our digital world tick, is this invisible engine working non-stop in the background. It's the digital brain that remembers everything for everyone all at once, and it's called a database management system. Now, to really wrap our heads around what a DBMS actually does, we need a good analogy. So let's imagine we're not talking about software. We're talking about a very, very special kind of librarian. So at its core, a DBMS is the software that organizes, protects, and gives out information. Now, it's not the library itself. That's the database, all the raw data. No, the DBMS is the brilliant, super-powered librarian who knows where every single piece of information is, who is allowed to see it, and how to keep it all in absolutely perfect order.
So you might be thinking, why would anyone go to the trouble of hiring this super librarian? Well, because the services they provide are incredibly powerful. Let's start with the advantages, the pros.
Probably the single biggest advantage is that it puts an end to duplicates. You see, before DBMS, data was just scattered everywhere. It was chaos. You'd have multiple, conflicting versions of the same exact information. Think about it like this. Before, you had total data chaos. The sales team had one address for a customer in their spreadsheet, but the support team had a slightly different one in their text log. It's a mess. But after our digital librarian gets hired, they create one single official record. This becomes the single source of truth. No more guessing. And you know what happens when you get rid of all those messy duplicates? You automatically get something beautiful: consistency. Because there's only one master copy of the data, it's going to be the same for everyone, everywhere, every single time. This is something you rely on every day. You trust that your bank balance is correct, right? Well, that's a powerful DBMS working behind the scenes, making sure that number is perfectly consistent, whether you're looking at the app, the website, or the ATM. It's totally non-negotiable for modern life. And the perks just keep on coming. Our librarian also enforces data integrity, setting rules like a zip code must be 5 digits. It provides security, basically acting like a digital Fort Knox for your information. And it even allows for concurrent access, which is a fancy way of saying it lets thousands of people use the data at the exact same time without crashing the whole system. Okay, but all of this power, all of this control, it doesn't come for free. Hiring this digital librarian and building them a state-of-the-art library has some pretty significant costs. So let's look at the other side of the coin, the downsides. The first and most obvious drawback is the price tag. Professional database management systems are some of the most complex pieces of software on the planet, and, well, they're priced like it. And we're not talking about a small investment here. The initial costs can easily rocket into 6 figures, sometimes way more. And that huge price tag isn't just for the software. It's also for the powerful, expensive computer hardware you need to run it and the massive project of moving all your old, messy data into this new, perfect system. So beyond the money, there's the human cost. This is not a simple app you just install and forget about. A DBMS is a complex beast, and it takes a whole team of highly specialized pros to run it properly. Yeah, you don't just hire one person. You basically have to build a new department. You need an architect to design the whole thing, a developer to build all the custom parts, and then finally, the database administrator. That's our super librarian to run the entire show day in and day out. That's a lot of salaries to add to the budget. And there are other headaches to worry about too. All this complexity needs a ton of expensive hardware to run on. It also means that because everything depends on this one central system, it can become a single point of failure. If the DBMS goes down, the entire business could just grind to a halt. So after looking at the incredible power and, let's be honest, the pretty scary price tag, what's the verdict? Is a DBMS actually worth it? When you lay it all out, it's a classic trade-off. On one hand, you gain immense power, centralized control, consistent, secure data, and easy access. But on the other hand, you have to accept the price, the high costs, the need for a specialized team, and the sheer complexity of managing such a critical system. It's a balancing act. And that really leaves us with one final big question. As our world generates more and more data every single second, the need for control gets stronger. But the complexity of maintaining that control also gets bigger. The answer isn't the same for everyone, but it's a question every single modern organization has to face. What do you think?